Moving on now to East Carolina, head coach Ruffin McNeill. The Pirates open their season Saturday against Towson at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. That will be a 6 p.m. Eastern Time start. The game will be on ESPN3. Coach, thanks so much for joining us on the call this morning. If you would just take a minute to tell us about your preseason, how that has gone for you, and what you expect to see Saturday as you play at home against Towson, please.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on. I thought it was a great fall camp. The off season, you could tell the kids in our sixth year understand what's expected and required in the off season when no coaches are around. They've done a good job preparing. We came into fall camp, knowing we had a lot of new faces. We had to replace some guys that we lost of last year's team, and those guys are ready to step up. Really saw that in the spring. I thought the kids, and by this time now, the biggest emphasis we talked about 6 years ago was the family atmosphere that we wanted in our program, and it was not a lip service or coaching cliche, but I can tell immediately that's one of my focuses. One of them is the bonding that occurs over the years with a particular team through the off season, through the training, through adversity with the team. You see now in the 6 years that bonding between the coaches and the players. That's really neat to see that. The team chemistry also comes from that. Developing this personality of this team, you start seeing that come about during fall camp. This group is a group that carries and believes what we began again 6 years ago, and that's having a total dedication to the team, first, last, and always, and a total dedication today to focus on a vision, which is your day-to-day process. You have your goals, but also understand it's the day-to-day process that's most important. I'm excited for this week. A lot of teams began last week. Some teams, great game. Montana and North Dakota today, great game with that one. But this is a great time. Our staff, we preach one message this week, and that's dedication to the team and the vision, and let's stay in focus every day. But excited to see our kids playing a game. I know Towson will come in here ready to go. Coach Ambrose has been there and established his program, his personnel in that program, and looking forward to getting it kicked off on Saturday at 6 o'clock here in Dowdy-Ficklin.
Take questions for Coach McNeill, please. Star 1 on your telephone to join the queue, and the operator will introduce you.
We'll take our first question from Eric Bailey from Tulsa World. Please go ahead, sir.
Good morning, Coach.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, I am working on a feature on Lincoln Riley, and if history you bring up changing the culture 6 years ago, Lincoln's going to make his debut as Oklahoma's offensive coordinator. When you guys took the job in 2010, you really changed the culture. You're looking at an offense that used to run the ball a lot, changed it to passing. Can you talk about the challenges that you guys faced and Lincoln faced, and how much patience you have to have when you do a new install of an offense?
Well, I've been in it, Eric, for a long time as an assistant, and having worked with Lincoln and knowing, understanding what we were going to run, what was I going to run, we were going to run if I ever became a head coach. We knew there's always some transition with everything. And one thing about the offense, this offense, and Oklahoma will see this, Coach Stoops and I visited a while before Lincoln, and hiring Lincoln, let him work because he'll have a balance of run game and pass game and passing game. Lincoln's just one of the top coaches I've had. He's family to me, and he'll do well. The offense that Lincoln will bring is what won Stoops, that staff, the national championship there in 2000, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. But he'll do a great job. I'm proud of Lincoln and Caitlin and Baby Sloan, and I know Dennis Simmons is on the staff and all Bill Beatonballs. They all understand how to run the offense. And Coach Stoops has been there, and I know Mike and all those guys. They'll do a great job.
And finally, can I get your thoughts on your first game at East Carolina? And that was Lincoln's first game, the Tulsa game, when I think you guys scored touchdowns over and over and won on a Hail Mary in the fourth quarter. Do you remember that game?
I do. The first game my second game as a head coach. My first one was the interim game at Texas Tech versus Michigan State. But here at East Carolina, that first game was barn burner, and you know how it goes. That happens in this game. We were able to win on the last second long Hail Mary and won the game. So, yeah, that was a great way to get it started.
Coach, thanks so much. Have a good week, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Eric.
And we'll move on to Dan Torta from Torta Broadcast Media.
Hi, Coach. How you doing today?
Hey, Dan. How you doing, brother?
Doing well. Just to go off of, like you said, you have to make up for some of the guys that are not on the team anymore that established a lot of leadership for you, namely your quarterback and your top wide receiver. What can you say about those two positions coming out of camp going into the season and who's developed and what you've really been able to see there?
Well, Dan, that's one of the things that I think, too, is, again, we wanted to develop competitive depth. So when I said it was replaced, not have to rebuild it or reload it, but replaced, we had guys and Shane and Justin, some other guys that people don't mention much on the other side with Brandon Williams on defense and Krishawn Rose. Those guys set a great blueprint, a mold, how we want things done. This group, and there's different ways to lead. Justin was a quiet leader and led by action. Shane was led by action but had the vocal part. This team is a team that they have a lot of quiet guys, which is a good thing. They lead by example. They're not a lot of rah-rah, cha-cha type things. They attack the practice each day. We got some guys that have been around the program for 3 and 4 years that understand it. At the running back position, Chris Harrison, a senior, he's been a leader behind there. Ant Scott, playing time last year as well. So the quarterback position, Kurt went down in camp. It's unfortunate. That was disappointing for him. He's just one of those kids that exemplify what we want in our program. Non-contact injury. He'll be back and be back as strong as new. But he was there. But Blake Kemp and Cody Keith and James Summers are guys right now at the quarterback position that have all stepped up, all great, smart kids and all great leaders. So those two positions are stepping up. Offensive line must be one of our key areas because you see those guys have some age on them up front and been around. And defensively, Zeke Bigger and Monteith Overton, those guys up front, Johnson White, guys have been around us. We count those guys to help lead the overall team.
And when you look at the team as a whole, Ruffin, you've always talked about having faith in the team, a mission and a vision, and just what you can say about this year's team. Obviously, you want to win as many games as possible, but what you can say about defining this year's team and what ECU is really about right now.
Well, I think, one of the things is always a team that plays a great, great effort and tries to play as many repetitions of 11-man football, winning 1-0 in every play in that particular game and not looking past that play, but playing the next play after that play is gone. A team that I think is ready to compete. They like being challenged, and they have. They've been challenged. We expect a lot, and we focus on what we expect and not really what anyone else. That's a part of the growth is, to deal in controllables and uncontrollables. We can't control what someone says or thinks, but we can control how we prepare, how we practice, how we focus, how we keep developing our toolbox, our technique toolbox, and those type things. So I think this team will be one that will love the competition, which definitely we have that non-conference and our conference schedule. It's just exciting game in, week out. I think there'll be a team that won't be afraid of adversity because we'll see that. And we know this league, I've said this before, Dan, this will be one of the most competitive leagues in the country week in and week out, from coaches to players. It's really a great league we're in. So I think this team we'll see where they are. And but I'm looking forward to getting on the field, Dan, for the first time in live action at 6 against Townsend State. It'll be a great contest. We got a lot of returning starters, great coach, and Coach Ambrose, Rob Ambrose, great coach, and a lot of guys coming back. So I'm anxious to see how we play in the game, but I'm more anxious to see how we'll prepare this week, that's key for us.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dan.
And we'll move on to Edward Lee from the Baltimore Sun. Please go ahead, sir.
I was wondering if you could just explain what's the impact of the loss of Kurt Benkert for the offense?
Well, he was one of those guys that he's been in the program, waited his turn. You ask, we ask and demand a lot in 3 areas. Wanting to be great people off the field. That's a part of them playing for us, which he was. Great student. He's made all A's every year. Every semester he made his first B. This semester, that part, while on the field, was one of the hardest workers in that group and led from in front. So I felt bad and felt disappointed for him because it was his chance opportunity. But God doesn't make mistakes, and God doesn't go oops. He's got a great plan for him, and he'll bounce back. We also have a mentality that is next man's up. We love everyone, and we know as coaches you prepare for any position, not just the quarterback position, but any position to have a guy ready to step up. And we began trying to build that up when we first got here to have competitive depth, and it took a few years to get that, but we got guys that are at that position, really each position that can challenge the start and compete every week.
So are you going to go with Blake Kemp or Cody Keith?
Right now it's Blake Kemp.
Can you just talk about what are his strengths? What do you like from him?
Well, he's just like Kurt, smart, been in the offense, understands it, great team player, leads them in front, understands the offense.
Is the loss of Kurt, is it a significant one?
Yes.
How so?
It is. He's a great teammate, great leader, leads them in front, encourages his teammates, enjoys playing the game, loves it, East Carolina, team first, last always player, always had a coach attitude. And just like our team, what we tried to attempt to build our team on 6 years ago, he's a part of that, and he exemplifies that as well as anyone.
What are your impressions of Towson running back Darius?
We're running a little bit over. I'm sorry. We do have to put leave it to one follow-up, Edward, if we can. So we do have another coach on the line. So I'm afraid we do have to cut you off here, if you don't mind. Coach, we thank you for joining us on the call today, and we look forward to talking